you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. And most developers during the NES life cycle, if they were good at what they did, they had signature titles. They had stuff that drew people into them. And they developed fan bases because of the work that they did. We saw this with Konami. We saw this with Capcom. We saw this with Nintendo R&D 1. We saw this with Taito, Natsume. And for me, I found this with KID. KID, 3 titles that everyone would know that they did because they were very similar and very distinct because they did them, were the 2 G.I. Joe titles, even though one was published by Capcom. It was not a Capcom developed game. And Low G-Man. Now, though that first G.I. Joe title and Low G-Man were both published by Taxan. They also handled Burai Fighter, if I remember correctly. Burai Fighter is this really interesting shmup that was published by Taxan. And all of these games, while really good, really serviceable run and gun action games, or in the case of Burai Fighters, shmups, they all kind of had something that kept them from being at the upper echelon of what they were trying to do as far as action games were concerned, right? Did that make those games not good? Absolutely not. Did it make them kind of not reach that pinnacle? Yeah. And today's game is an example of that. Also, this game did not come out. It only came out in Japan and Germany. Kind of along the lines of what happened with Gimmick, which only came out in Scandinavia, if I remember correctly. Today, we're going to take a quick look at Banana Prince. Alright, now Banana Prince, you play as the titular Banana Prince, right? And my man's just trying to rescue a princess. And he's trying to rescue her from a bunch of sentient, evil fruits and veggies that are trying to stop him. Well, the prince has a little sword. Sword ain't really worth nothing. Range is short until you get power-ups. You get power-ups by collecting rings that are scattered around the level. Not like Sonic rings, actual rings that have a stone on top. Collect those, find a shop, buy power-ups. Rinse, repeat. Beat the game. There's also an interesting mechanic where, as far as jumping is concerned, right? You have to use you use down and B, and you press down, tap B, Prince plants a seed, seed immediately makes a tree. You shoot up the tree, and you can do a high jump off of the tree, kind of like charging a jump in Super Mario 2. And while that's a cool mechanic, that said cool mechanic can get tiresome at some point. Playing the same thing, playing this game with that weird mechanic, and then trying to do a regular jump in this game, none of those things feel like they line up right. You always feel like your jump is off in a regular jump. Some of the animation is kind of jerky. Some of the sound is a little bit off. Boss fights kind of contain trivia challenges, which is weird to me. Like, I'm fighting all these enemies, why can't I just fight the boss? Then you, after solving trivia questions, a lot of times you do end up fighting a boss. Said boss fights are, they aight. But this game just feels like, between the backgrounds ranging in variety from just loud to muddy, the jumping mechanics being kind of weird, some of the animation and the scrolling being kind of jerky at times, all these little things add up to this game just kind of missing the mark. Which is why I'm not completely beaten up about the fact that it didn't get released originally in the States. But there's lots of ways you can get your hands on a copy though, if you decide you want a copy of Banana Prince. So here's the thing. You can go get a Famicom card. Make sure you have a way to play it. You can track down a German PAL region card. Again, make sure you have a way to play it. Or you can get a repro card with a fan translation so you can actually read the text that's popping up on the screen. Because this game has a surprising amount of text on it. And copies they vary wildly. So Japanese cards can be about 25, 30, maybe $40. German carts, I've seen some go for as little as $40 and as much as $150. A complete copy I saw go for about $300. It's weird, I know, but that's where we at. As far as repro carts, repro carts vary in price depending on who's selling them. So you can probably get a repro cart for about $40. But yeah, for my money, this is definitely a try before you buy, because while Banana Prince has potential like most games by KID have, it also has little problems here and there that add up to a not so great experience. But this has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow. Tomorrow. Danny Glover kept saying he was getting too old for this, and this might be why.